our team, our community. This is CondorsTown, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Eric Fox and Ryan Holt.
What's up, B-Town? It's Eric Fox from Energy 95.3. It's other side of the split screen, my brother from another mother. That is Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors. Little different look from the normal setup. You happen to be somewhere else today.
Yeah, we're in Loveland, Colorado, getting set for morning skate for a big game tonight. So here doing my my morning work. I don't just show up and put a headset on at 7 o'clock like some people think I do.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of back work you do. So we'll talk about that in the future. Let's go and do what we always do. We first talk about the parent organization, the Edmonton Oilers, coming out at the All-Star break. Obviously, a really nice winning streak they were on, but they had some hiccups as we came back out, including a couple drops against Vegas and the Kings and a win against the Ducks. What are you seeing?
Yeah, nice win against the Ducks. Former Condors goalie Calvin Pickard gets the win against Anaheim. And yeah, I mean, Vegas is, a top team in the league, and LA playing in front of their new coach. Their first game was always going to be a difficult contest. They're a tough team to play against anyways. And, they came out and played a pretty game on Saturday night. So it's on the Oilers tonight to respond against a Detroit team that, has been pesky this year, but a team that the Oilers should beat. And, that'll be later on tonight.
We always talk about coaching changes when we talk about the Oilers earlier this year and kind of saw how that responded. How do you think the Kings might respond now that they have a new coach?
Yeah, I think it can go one of two ways. I think there's enough there for LA. I think they kind of overshot. I think early on this year, I don't think they were as good as their record indicated. And then they kind of came back down to earth, but now it's on them to kind of fight, to stay in that kind of wild card hunt, that third spot in the Pacific kind of hunt. And to be honest with you, after the top three teams in both divisions, it's a crapshoot, right? Seattle's fallen off the radar. Arizona's fallen off the radar. You have the Kings sitting there. You get the Blues and the Wild kind of sitting there. But for the most part, you got the top three teams in both divisions, and then you got a crapshoot of, some very mediocre, in my mind, teams.
Anything you're seeing on the injury front with the Oilers? How are we looking?
No, they're good for now. I think, they play like 24 games over 48 nights, much like us. So they play every other night. We play every other night. So injuries are bound to happen. And it's on the depth of the organizations to be able to kind of fill that in throughout the course of the second half of the year.
Let's go and talk about the busy schedule coming up as we transition over to talking with the Condors. It felt like we had one game every 2.5 weeks, but now it's going to be like you said, every other day is pretty much a game. Let's talk about the games first of all. This past weekend, the little ping pong match, as I call them, where you play one game at one arena, next game at the other arena against San Jose. Games we needed to get in hand. We did a split. What did you see out there?
Yeah, I didn't think we played particularly well on Friday night, and still was ing to get the win. And then Saturday, I thought we were just okay. And when you're just okay in this league, you're not guaranteed to win. And fact of the matter is, it was tied 2-2 late in the third, and you come out of there and you don't get a point, you don't get a win, you don't force overtime. A little disappointing, certainly. For a Condors team that like you mentioned, has a ton of games in hand on everybody. Had San Jose coming in, they haven't been great this year, and but it's tough when you get teams back to back. It is, it's tough to continue that motivation, to keep that flow going, and San Jose's a pesky team if you let them go offensively, and they were able to find one more on Saturday night, but I would expect a much more dialed in Condors team here this week against a very good Colorado team.
Let's talk about that Colorado team, because San Jose is at the bottom of the basement, but Colorado, they've had some hiccups, but they're rolling really strong right now. How do you prep to take a team on like that?
Yeah, when we saw them last time, I think it was 3 weeks ago here. They had lost 8 out of 10, I think, and were kind of scuffling. And now since then they've won 10 out of 12. So this is a much different looking team. Right. That we're facing this week. And that's happened throughout the course of the season, right? Henderson started strong and this faded. Ontario started strong. They're starting to fade now. Condor started kind of mediocre and now starting to ascend. This series is big for a number of reasons. Colorado's third in the division right now. the Condors, if you're doing out the math, are really fourth in the division, and currently 5 points back at Colorado. But we have 4 games in hand on them. So
Right.
if this series tilts the Condors' favor and you're able to decrease those 5 points to Colorado, you still have 4 games in hand on them, and you see them on Sunday. So, again, the Condors have everything to play for in their own hands. There's nobody that they're going to be looking out going, we need this team to lose. It's all for the
Right.
Condors, right? We've got, whatever it is, 31 games left, I think it is, or 32 games left. And, for Bakersfield, you go out and win 20 of them, you're going to end up in the top 3 just because the other teams don't have as many games. So it's all in the Condors' hands, but this is going to be a tough week. This is a good opponent. This is a tough place to play. It should be a fun couple of games.
Let's talk about the difficulty of playing in that arena, because not only do you have the altitude, you have that sound. I mean, and that's got to be a little difficult to, make your on ice play calls when you got that much noise going through.
Yeah, well, it's twofold, right? Like, I mean, you want to play in places that are fun to play in, right? Like nobody wanted to go to Stockton and, sit in front of an empty arena and play hockey. Like, you want to be on the road and you want to feel kind of that road environment. And this is the most perfect road environment, I think, in the league. Do I think Colorado is as offensive as they have been in years past? They're not. The Condors are a better offensive team, and I wouldn't put the Condors in the offensive juggernaut category either. But this Colorado team is built very much like the Condors. Very good defensively, stingy offensively, good goaltending, and they win hockey games. And they're good at home. They've always been good at home, but
Right.
this year especially. So it's again another tough test. But again, we just had a tough test last week. In Texas. That place is tough to go in and out of and come out with a win, let alone 2. If the Condors come out of here with a win, it's a success. Come out here with 2 wins or 3 points, you're climbing up the standings even more.
So we obviously have the 2 games going on tonight and tomorrow night, and we're back in the Bagel Bird zone as we have a 3-game homestand coming your way against teams in which we really got to get the W's, including, of course, Colorado, which we're seeing once again. But we also have a couple bottom dwellers with San Jose and San Diego. How do you prepare for all that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we need any more motivation against the San Jose team that just beat us on Saturday. So,
Right.
there's all the motivation in the world. This Colorado team comes in red hot on Sunday, and then next Tuesday we get San Diego, who has been a bottom dweller, as you mentioned, but they've won, I think 9 out of 10 or something like that, and they've gotten themselves back to 500. So, there's no easy games in this division. It's going to be a grind the rest of the way. Like I said, we play every other night, so. Just throw a dartboard at the calendar, and we're likely playing a hockey game that night. So should be fun. We've got the baseball jerseys on Saturday. Brad Malone designed those that we'll auction off. And then on Sunday, we've got the first ever Condors Renaissance Fair with knights and fire twirling and jousting. And George the Giant's going to be there. Might even have some turkey legs. I don't know. But it should be fun. But it's a Sunday. Everyone's off on Monday. Well, most people except for those of us who work for the Condors are off on Monday, and then it's a 5 o'clock start on Sunday too. So should be cool environment. Should be different. We haven't had a Sunday game, I don't think, in the AHL tenure. You have to go back probably a couple of years.
It's been a while, yeah.
For last Sunday game. So something different, but we'll give it a try and see how it works.
People want to check out the game tonight or tomorrow night in Colorado. What do people need to do?
AHL TV, we'll get it going at 6 o'clock Pacific, 5:45. We'll get the pregame show going.
Then we got Saturday and Sunday games, and also next Tuesday, which we'll talk about next Tuesday. But people want to check out any of those games in CondorsTown. What do they need to do?
Fun starts at $15, and it's online at BakersfieldCondors.com. And should be 2 fun games and hopefully a couple of wins.
Ryan Holt for the Bakersfield Condors. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3 every single Tuesday, 10 a.m. Catch us right here as we get you caught up on all things CondorsTown, as we are your Energy Condors connection. And we'll catch you guys next week.